Following some breaking news now, wrestling legend Hulk Hogan has died. His manager told NBC Los Angeles that Hogan died surrounded by his family in Clearwater, Florida this morning. He was 71 years old.
All right, buckle up, because what I'm about to spill will leave your jaw on the floor. Hulk Hogan's autopsy report, it's not just tragic, it's explosive. Missed warning signs, hidden pain, and a final message that shattered fans. We're talking about a man who once defined a generation, and whose death might have been preventable. Yes, you heard that right. For years, Hogan battled through brutal injuries, ignored doctors, and lived with silent damage that ultimately led to a heart that just gave out. And the twist? Experts now believe he could have lived longer. This is the real story of Hulk Hogan's final days. A story wrapped in pain, pride, and the kind of heartbreak that doesn't let you go. The autopsy? It didn't just confirm his death, it changed everything. So what exactly did that report say? Well, on July 25th, 2025, just 12 days after his passing, the official autopsy came out. Fans braced for confirmation. But what they got was so much worse. Yes, the cause was cardiac arrest, but that wasn't the full picture. Oh no, the real culprit? Decades of hidden trauma. According to the Pinellas County Medical Examiner, Hogan's heart showed signs of serious internal trauma. We're talking severe inflammation, compressed nerves, and even undiagnosed internal bleeding. His body was crumbling, quietly, for years, and no one really saw it. That pain, it wasn't sudden, it was a slow burn. Every slam in the ring, every ignored pain, it all piled up. And get this, cardiologists now say if he had gotten proper care, if he had just gone to the hospital when he first felt the chest pains, he might have survived, but he didn't. He kept pushing, kept fighting, refusing help. And in the end, that decision cost him. The autopsy confirmed what many feared, but it also asked the question that no one was ready to face. Could Hulk Hogan have lived if he had just stopped pretending to be invincible? Let that sink in, because what followed next was a look into a man who was dying in pieces. Let's rewind just a few weeks before his death. Terry Bollea, the man behind the myth, started canceling appearances. He looked exhausted, pale, even winded after small talk. He confided in a friend, "I'm just tired all the time." That wasn't nothing, that was everything. But instead of running to a doctor, Hogan chose rest. Like always, he ignored the signs. In late June 2025, he even had chest tightness and nausea. And still, he stayed home. Told everyone, "I'll bounce back." Just like he always did. Only this time, he didn't. A scheduled heart appointment? Skipped. His longtime doctor even recommended more surgery, and Hogan's response? "No more knives, brother. I've had enough." Let's not forget, this was a man who had already gone through 25 surgeries. His spine was fused, his hips replaced. He was done. Tired of scalpels, tired of recovery. Instead, he leaned hard into alternative healing. CBD, acupuncture, therapy, infrared. It helped the pain, sure, but it couldn't fix what was breaking down inside. In his final 72 hours, he needed help just to walk. Doctors couldn't convince him, friends couldn't, his family couldn't. Hulk Hogan, the warrior, the fighter, the legend, refused to let anyone see him weak. But that armor, that pride, it became a prison. And by the time he finally realized something was wrong, it was already too late. Now here's the part that'll break your heart, because the very ring that made him a hero might have also killed him. By 2025, Hulk Hogan's body was wrecked, literally falling apart. He had arthritis so bad in nearly every joint. Doctors said it was like having glass inside his body. Knees, shoulders, back, fingers, all of it. Simple stuff, like standing up or tying his shoes. Torture. And that wasn't all. Years of painkillers, steroids, performance enhancers, they shredded his liver and kidneys. He switched to CBD eventually, but the damage? Already done. Lab results from way back in 2018 were already showing organ stress. And sleep? Forget it. Hogan would go nights, 2, 3 in a row, with zero real sleep, just pacing his mansion, sitting alone in his gym, haunted by the crowds he once heard cheering. He told a friend, "I hear the crowds when it's dark. I can't turn them off." And then, the autopsy revealed something terrifying. A collapsed spinal disc pressing directly on a nerve near his neck. That explains why his arms were weak, why he'd stopped signing autographs himself. It wasn't arrogance, it was nerve damage. Everything that made him strong now held him prisoner. And as if the physical pain wasn't enough, there was something even darker. The emotional wreckage, the weight of being broken, of fading into the background, of feeling forgotten. That's a pain no medicine fixes. Let's talk about that. Because when the spotlight turned off, Terry Bollea faced a fight he couldn't body slam away. Depression, isolation, guilt. After retiring from wrestling, his world got so quiet. Too quiet. It all started back in 2010. His marriage collapsed. Scandals hit hard. His name was dragged through the mud. And Hogan? He admitted it in interviews. He felt shame, regret, emptiness. He once said to a friend, "I lost everything that mattered." The man who once stood tall in front of millions now wandered his mansion alone. Public events? He avoided them. And when he had to go, he surrounded himself with a fortress of bodyguards. One insider said he didn't trust the spotlight anymore. But here's the part that really stings. They found a journal after he passed. A personal note dated November 2023. It read, "The ring gave me everything and took it all back. Raw, honest, human." But even in the darkness, Hogan held on to one last flicker of light. Legacy. That name, Hulk Hogan. It still meant something to him. Fans still remembered, and he wanted to be remembered the right way. So he made one final push. He wasn't trying to be champ again. He just wanted one last chapter, on his terms, in red and yellow. Even at 70, Hogan asked WWE for a farewell match, told Vince McMahon, "I want to go out the right way," but his body said no. WWE declined. He never got that one last bell. But he didn't stop. He worked behind the scenes, trying to secure licensing deals, protect the Hulkamania brand, stay connected with fans. He even asked McMahon in private, "Will they remember me the way I want to be remembered?" He never let fans see him in a wheelchair, even when doctors insisted. He told his wife Sky, "Hulk Hogan doesn't roll, he walks." And when pain made appearances too hard, he sent pre-recorded videos, flexing, smiling, holding onto the image the world knew. And when he died, he was buried in his iconic red and yellow gear, the same one he wore when he slammed Andre the Giant in '87. It was his armor, his legacy, his symbol. He was gone, but Hulkamania still roared. And the world? Oh, the world reacted. When the news broke on the morning of July 24th, 2025, the internet didn't just react, it exploded. Fans around the world, they were in shock. Social media flooded with one gut punch line over and over: he should still be here, because the truth was out. His death wasn't just tragic, it was preventable. That hit people hard. Medical professionals began speaking out. Cardiologists called it both a miracle of endurance and a tragedy of neglect. One doctor even said he was walking around with damage most people wouldn't survive. His willpower masked the danger, but by then it was too late. WWE wasted no time. They dropped a tribute video, the immortal one. It showed everything. Hogan in his prime, body slamming giants, flexing, tearing shirts, feeding the crowd. But they didn't hide his final years either. They showed the limp, the pain, the grit behind the smile, the mask he kept wearing for us. And that video, it hit differently. The wrestling world felt it. From veterans to rising stars, everyone stopped, everyone spoke. Triple H, Seth Rollins, Charlotte Flair, they all posted tributes. But it wasn't just about Hogan. They called for change. We can't keep letting legends fade like this. That wasn't just a tribute, that was a wake-up call. Because for every Hulk Hogan, there are 10 others fighting through pain in silence. And then came the interview that broke people. His wife Sky Daly finally spoke. Just one sentence, just one truth. He chose pain over help. That was his way. I just wish he'd chosen different. And that hit the world right in the heart. But what about the fortune? The money? The brand? Well, it's a lot messier than people thought. At the time of his death, Hulk Hogan's net worth was estimated around $25 million. Which sounds big, but let's not forget, this man was once worth over $100 million. So what happened? It started with the lawsuits. The Gawker case in 2016 gave him a headline-grabbing $140 million judgment, but behind the scenes, after legal fees, settlements, and cuts, insiders say he actually walked away with maybe $20 million, if that. Then came the divorce. Linda Claridge, his ex-wife, took a massive chunk, reportedly 70% of their shared assets. We're talking luxury homes in Florida and California, fat bank accounts, business investments, gone. The rest, drained by bad business. Remember Postomania? A total flop. Hogan Energy didn't last. Even his beach shop franchise struggled to stay afloat. By the time he passed, most assets were reportedly left to Sky Daly. His daughter, Brooke Hogan, was said to receive partial WWE royalties. His son, Nick Hogan, allegedly cut out of the will completely. Brutal. But here's where it gets wild. The moment Hogan died, his merch blew up. WWE and Mattel saw a 700% spike in sales within days. Hulkamania wasn't just alive again, it was on fire. But behind the numbers, the brand, the headlines, there was always a man hiding pain. And that's what people are finally starting to understand. The truth? Hulk Hogan wasn't just a persona, it was a performance, a shield, a second skin. Terry Bollea, the man behind the legend, lived two lives. In public, he was larger than life, red and yellow, flexing, smiling, unstoppable. In private, he was broken, quiet, often alone. For decades, he didn't just perform in the ring, he performed life, smiling for cameras while drowning in lawsuits, promoting vitamins and prayers while facing scandal after scandal. And that 2015 racism controversy, it nearly ended him. He told a close friend, They don't want the whole truth. They want the easy villain. He made apologies, private calls, tried to make it right. Some forgave, some didn't. By the end, only a small circle stayed close. Ric Flair, Jimmy Hart, and of course Brooke. Everyone else, gone. But the thing Hogan feared most? It wasn't hate. It was being forgotten, and that's what makes what he said next chilling. Just months before he died, he recorded a message, looked right into the camera and said, "Don't cry for me, cheer for the next guy." That's what a real champion does. That wasn't a quote, that was closure. That was the goodbye he never got in the ring. That was Hulk Hogan, the man and the myth, stepping out of the spotlight one last time. And finally, there was peace. Not perfect peace, not painless, but peace, all the same. His family, his fans, the industry, they mourned him and celebrated him. What he left behind? It wasn't flawless. It was messy, human, heroic, controversial, real, and in that reality, there was legacy. But this story isn't just about Hogan. It's about what his fall teaches us. Because Hulk Hogan's death, it was a mirror held up to fame, to strength, to pride, to pain. It reminded us, even the strongest men can fall, not always in battle, sometimes in silence. It reminded us that cameras don't save you, that muscles don't protect you forever, that the body always keeps score. Every slam, every match, every "I'm fine." It catches up. It reminded us that mental health matters even for superheroes. That pride, when left unchecked, becomes a cage. That asking for help doesn't make you weak. It makes you brave. Because Hulk Hogan didn't die as a punchline. He didn't die as a meme. He died a man who gave everything and just wanted to hold on a little longer. So when the world said goodbye on July 24th, 2025, they didn't just lose a wrestler. They lost a piece of their childhood, a voice of their past, a face of their dreams. And with the autopsy report now out, we finally see the full picture. He wasn't just tough. He was hurting. He wasn't just famous. He was fragile. And above all, he was human. Of all,